Are you ready for the potential impact of La Nina on your energy trading strategy? There's so much at stake in the coming months. I want you to meet Chris Hyde, my friend and senior sales manager and meteorologist. Now, Chris, let's dive right in. What critical trends do energy traders need to know as we move deeper into the tropical season and beyond?
Yeah, I think that one of the first trends is to determine what direction the INSO is heading. And you had mentioned La Nina. That's really key, looking at the water temperatures, trends as far as the other side in the Atlantic on where the tropics are going and how things are firing up. And then trends as far as temperature and precipitation patterns going not just in the autumn season, but beyond going into next winter and the heating season as well. Looking at the sea surface temperatures across the Central Pacific, right now, we're still in neutral. We're kind of locked in there. I expected to have below normal water temperatures continue on very slowly cool down for the balance of the year. And that's going to be key. I'll talk a lot about La Nina as we head a little deeper in the presentation for this upcoming autumn and into the winter season. The forecast from IRI calls for a weak La Nina, touching weak status as we head into the autumn season, and then bouncing back after the first of the year come next spring back to neutral. So it'll be a very brief period as we head into the balance of this year, early next year, to weak La Nina. So it's not going to be there very long for impacts as far as weather goes. As we head to the tropics, we've had a pretty good churn with respect to conditions across the Atlantic. Major hurricane, few hurricanes, including Beryl and Debbie, including 5, 3, and 1. Those are the numbers to date. And then you see to the right there, 18, 8, and 5. When I say major hurricane, category 3 or higher. So 5 of those 8 additional hurricanes we feel are going to be pretty strong. And the climatological peak is September 10th. So we have a lot more to go. The water temperatures are conducive. And weak La Nina is very conducive of a lot of activity across the central Atlantic and into towards the Gulf and East Coast, for that matter, too.
Why is this so impactful to me as a trader? Looking at this forecast, what does it all mean? What should I be doing right now?
Yeah, as far as the main importance of this going into the autumn or the shoulder season into the winter is energy demand. You got to see where these trends go as far as temperatures, how far above or below normal they are, because that determines in the high population centers how much people are going to turn on their heating early in the season or delayed or very rarely at all as we head for the balance of the season. The dryness across the Northwest and ERCOT or Texas is going to be key as we head into the autumn season. We'll continue to monitor that. And I'll talk a lot about that as we head into the deeper part of the winter period. But for overall, the trend continues to be another warm fall across much of the eastern half, if not the eastern two-thirds of the U.S. there, particularly in the Northeast and interior West. Precipitation above normal for much of the East Coast. That could be associated with the tropical activity where these things tend to steer for the Southeast on up to the eastern seaboard. November, still lingering above normal precip in the Northeast, but you'll notice below normal kind of encroaching into Texas and ERCOT, above normal temperatures associated with that, and above normals lingering along the East Coast. So if you look at this from a trading perspective, it's probably not going to be an early onset to the heating season with above normal temperatures for those high population centers back east. A little deeper into the winter period, January, looking pretty much the same, above normals for all those high population centers, eastern two-thirds of the U.S. And you'll notice La Nina conditions as far as the southern part of the U.S., the jet stream is pretty lacking with precipitation. So you'll see a lot of dryness coming into Texas and the southern tier states, including even Southern California. But on the flip side of that, your Pac Northwest, northern tier states, including southern Canada, will have an uptick in moisture as La Nina starts to really start to fire up come the middle part of the winter into early part of 2025. And here is February and March as we end the winter season. Below normal, the further north and west you go, for the Pac Northwest, Alberta, Western Canada, but above normal, the opposite direction, south and east. And where those above normals, usually you have below normal precip as well. So very typical of weak La Nina. The further north and west is probably your best bet for colder than normal conditions or higher energy demand in those regions.
Chris, this is great. And this is only one of many outlooks that we're going to share with you. And in the meantime, you can sign up for a business trial right now in less than a minute.